All right, hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Dr. Anwar Yusuf Dunbar, and this is Big Discussions 76 Entertainment and Media. First of all, please like this stream, please share it, and please subscribe to my channel. I see Kareen, also known as Too Secret, is here. Hold on, Kareen. Let me make an announcement over on my original channel. So folks can come over here and watch this. I don't intend for this to be a long stream, but obviously if more eyeballs are on it, that's better. Let's see. Create post. Let's see. Right now, the Black Widow movie. All right, that's been shared over there. Now let me go back to that channel, because I think you get the most up-to-date metadata when you're watching it from the actual channel. Okay. All right, everyone. Let me show the logo again. Shout out to my brother Amal Dunbar. That's the logo that's officially set up for this channel. Let's see. Oh, Wolf 58 says, "Long time no see. I was getting worried." Hey, Wolf, I see the last live stream I did on Michigan football was the Bo Schembechler one. And actually, Wolf, I'm planning to take a little break in August before the season kicks off, because I'm kind of grinding my gears here. You see, I'm finishing off my coffee, and it's almost 6 o'clock. So that's what I'm planning on doing. So I'm gonna at least take a break from the sports channel. I've done some pre-recorded stuff. And if I do anything in August, it'll be here in my science channel, but I'm in need of a little bit of a break. So just to rest and to recharge. Kareen, I did message you and I asked you if you wanted to do this one with me. I can bring you up. I can bring you up now, or I can give my little introduction before I talk about the movie, because I have some pictures queued up here. You can come into the stream with me if you want. Or you can hang out there. Let me know what you want to do. I have 2 more pictures here that I want to show as I do this. This is going to be a short one. This is another post-work, pre-LA Fitness workout stream. So I'm going to try to keep this to about an hour. Let me pull up this other picture and I'll go ahead and get this party started. Okay, guys, so this is going to be just a short review of a short review / discussion of the Black Widow movie, which was just released this last weekend, and it was supposed to be released, I think, last summer, and we all know what happened last summer. I'm not gonna talk about it because YouTube is policing what people talk about. So Kareen, the link is right there. So Kareen, I'm going to give a little, for the sake of the playback, and in case I want to cut this up later into little bits and pieces, I'm going to just give a brief overview of how we got to the Black Widow movie. And so that's what I'm going to do. You can hang out while I do that and chime in as you please. Wolf 58, yes, this is going to have a couple of spoilers. I mean, there's not a lot as we'll describe. This is certainly not the blockbuster movie of the franchise, but there are going to be some things that I'll probably give away. The Critical Drinker, I don't know if you're familiar with the Critical Drinkers channel. He released a video on this, and I didn't watch it, but I imagine he gave a bunch of spoilers as well. What's going on, Kareem?
Hey, let me get off. I don't want to. I'm sorry about the camera. I'm trying to fix
I was about
it.
to say that's the first time I've ever seen you live.
Oh yeah, I like my avatar better. Makeup is
Oh boy.
done.
Okay. All right. Let me take a sip of my coffee here.
Makeup is done. This normal face is not camera ready.
All right. All right. Well, I'm just gonna do a little walkthrough of how we got to this movie, and then we'll just talk about what we thought about this movie, and then we'll just keep it tight and wrap up because I want to go to the gym. Um, so the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Let's see, this all started in the first decade of this millennium, and it started with um, Tony Stark's Iron Man. Though actually, the argument can be made that it did start with the Hulk first, because I think Edward Norton's Hulk was the official start of this whole thing, because at the end, I think it was Colonel Ross who became Secretary Ross. He goes, um, no, yeah. I think Tony Stark approaches Secretary Ross, then Colonel Ross, and says, "We're putting together a team." Blah 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 blah. But we went through. I think it was phase one, and then phase two, and the first part, and I might be messing this completely up, but the first part culminated with the formation of the Avengers, who I'll call the original six. So this is an iconic photo from the very first Avengers movie, and I'm thinking I was hearing the DMV when this was released, but there's Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow, Chris Hemsworth as Thor, Chris Evans as Captain America, Jeremy Renner as Hawkeye, Tony Stark as Iron Man, and that is Mark Ruffalo's Hulk. I would say that's Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk, but I think he's CGI, so I don't think Mark Ruffalo acted in those scenes per se. And so this is the original six, as I call them. That's them. That's probably after the first or the second movie, after they really started becoming successful, and that's them out of costume there. What's interesting about Black Widow is that we first saw Black Widow, Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow, in Iron Man 2. So as I was thinking about this live stream, they very cleverly started introducing us to the secondary heroes as they were introducing the big three. The big three being Thor, Captain America, and Iron Man. So Black Widow first showed up in Iron Man 2, and then they gave her some more time in Captain America, the Winter Soldier. And then she was in the bigger movies. I'm going to jump ahead here. I'm sure everyone who's watching this live, there are only two people here watching this live, and those who watch it on the playback will know that the last movie, the last quote unquote Avengers movie featuring the original six, was Avengers Endgame. And yeah, there she is right there on the poster, in between Iron Man and Ant-Man, and above Hawkeye. And what we know, I'm sure everyone must have seen it by now. in Avengers Endgame, Black Widow dies. And I had that picture queued up. Yeah, here's a picture right here. Yeah, so Black Widow and Hawkeye, they agreed to go to Vormir. Yeah, Vormir, because the Avengers they're trying to retrieve all the Infinity Stones so they can reverse the Thanos snap. And so Hawkeye and Black Widow, they agree to go to Vormir. And what we learn on Vormir, which we actually learned in Avengers Infinity War, is that the price of the Soul Stone is an actual soul. So Hawkeye and Black Widow, they have to agree. Well, one of them has to give up their life to get the Soul Stone so that the other one can take the Soul Stone back and so that they can reverse the Thanos snap. And they fight over which one is going to sacrifice themselves. And it turns out that Black Widow is the one who sacrifices herself, and Hawkeye takes the stone back. And you have the iconic battle at the end where we also lose Tony because Tony sacrifices himself. So two of my favorite characters, because I did like the Black Widow character, two of the iconic characters from the original six die off during Avengers Infinity War. I'm sorry, Endgame. And so I was disappointed about that. And so one of the things that I was looking for, and one of the things I was keeping my fingers crossed for, was that maybe she wasn't dead. Maybe they would bring her back. And I'm still hoping and keeping my fingers crossed that they'll bring Iron Man back somehow. And actually, in the movie Endgame, Bruce did actually say, now I think here for this Bruce Banner, this Banner Hulk, I think that they did animate him similar to Gollum, so that the Banner Hulk that we see, that's actually Mark Ruffalo's face being adapted for that Hulk. But he stated that he tried to bring Natasha back with the snap, but it seems that when a soul is given up for the Soul Stone, it's permanent, at least up to this point. I believe that they can bring her back if they want to, using some kind of loophole. They have ways of doing this, but for now, it seems that she's permanently gone. So that's how we got to Black Widow, and so going into this movie, one of my questions was, are they actually going to kill her, or are they going to bring her back? And so what the movie did was it takes place in terms of continuity. And they were talking about this on the Roger Report earlier. It takes place immediately after Civil War. If you remember from Civil War, the Avengers plus the new heroes that were brought on afterwards, I'm thinking about Black Panther, Ant-Man, War Machine, Falcon, all of those guys, they split into two separate teams based upon who was going to adhere to the Sokovia Accords. And basically Captain America's team, they all had to go into hiding because they were the ones that violated the Sokovia Accords, even though they had a good reason for doing it. And during the airport battle, Black Widow, she allowed Captain America and Bucky, the Winter Soldiers, to get away by neutralizing the Black Panther. So I think she got in trouble with Secretary Ross and the whole political machine. And so she had to go into hiding. And so that's where Black Widow picks up. Kareem, do you want to say anything?
No, you're pretty much doing everything. So, I mean, I'll jump in when you want my opinion.
Okay. So that's where, in terms of chronological order, it's strange the way that they did this, because the entire all the four big movies were over. So they're over at this point. So the way Marvel did this, you're wondering as a fan, okay, are they what new are they going to give us that they haven't given us in and around those original four movies? And because if they had created this prior to or somewhere near the beginning, then you would say, okay, this is an origin story. We know where she comes from, and then the whole thing is just going to keep going. But it was strange that they did this after the fourth big movie was done. And so I have my notes here. I'm going to just show the cast really quickly. Use my screen share. Yeah. You know what? And this is another thing that confused me because when I went to go watch the movie, I did look it up ahead of time, and I saw Robert Downey Jr. there. So I said, okay, Tony's going to make an appearance in the movie. Now, I might have missed it. I didn't fall asleep during this movie, but
no, he wasn't in it at all. I think he's probably a producer.
Okay.
He's most likely the producer because he wasn't in this movie at all.
Okay. Yeah. So you could see that there's no character mentioned for him. So maybe you're right. Maybe he had a producer credit for this. But the entire time I was looking, I was saying, when's Tony going to come in? When's Iron Man going to come in? And he never came in. Let's see. So go ahead.
Yeah, I thought they should have at least did something with Iron Man, like do like a dream sequence or something with him, because her character was introduced in Iron Man. So it would have been kind of nice if they just did like a little 30-second something, you know what I mean? To pay homage to him, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, so this is the cast. Scarlett Johansson, she's the main character. She plays Black Widow. Florence Pugh plays Yelena. And guys, I don't speak Russian, so I might be pronouncing that wrong. Yelena Belova. Rachel Weisz plays Melina Vost. Is that longer? Vost something. Okay, I can't see the full name here.
Rachel Weisz?
Yeah.
Melina, her character, to me, everyone was saying that her character was so strong and so this prior to the movie, but even though she was the architect of the Red Room, I didn't find her character to be that compelling. I think she was like, and she's a great actress. This Rachel Weisz is like a top tier actress. She's not a, but in this role, her talents wasn't really used. She was just like window dressing to me in a way.
Okay.
In this movie.
This fella here, David Harbour, plays Alexei. See, that's cut off again. When I click on it, it doesn't go all the way to the name. Alexei Shost. We'll just say Alexei Shost, but he plays the Red Guardian. Yolanda. So Yolanda Lyons, she's part of the Red Room. This woman was part of the Red Room. This guy played Ursa. I'm not sure who that was. This guy was Black Widow's. He helped her.
Yeah, I was like, why did they get this guy? This no name.
Well, he was helping her.
Didn't they I know, but my point was they could have had someone that we know interjected into this movie to make it like a Marvel type. I don't know. Like I said, I didn't understand his character. I understand he was the fetch man or whatever you want to call him, but he wasn't. I guess they needed to put a Black person in the movie.
Yeah,
that's had a speaking role, so that's why they interjected him. But I don't know. It wasn't. I don't think he was necessary either in the movie.
Okay. And
I'm glad a Black man have a role, though. I don't want to be like negative, like I'm bashing a Black man having a acting role, but I didn't.
Yeah, well, as you can see, it's more of I hate to say it, it's more of an Obama biracial Black man.
Right. Okay. Biracial.
Let's see. I'm not going to go over all these, but Eva Gabo Anderson plays plays a young Natasha Romanoff. And I feel like when they were little girls, I feel like she was the big sister, wasn't she? And
Right.
then
Yes, Natasha was the big
Yelena
sister.
was the little. So Google might have these reversed. But here's the bad guy. Ray Winstone played Dreykov, who was in charge of the
Yeah,
Red
and he
Room.
wasn't like that. Like Wolves just referred to a content creator. I'm not gonna mention him on your channel, but he did a review of this movie, and I watched it
Yeah.
too. I love him. The Critical
Oh
Drinker.
yeah,
Yeah,
you
he's
can
very
mention
good.
him. Yeah. Much
He
respect to the Critical Drinker. I love his content.
He's very good, and he brought out a point that how Dreykov was not a compelling evil guy either. He was just like everybody was just blah in this movie. Like it was an okay movie, but I felt like they could have they really failed her in a way. You know, since she's so integral to this franchise, she's been in there for what, over 10 years. Um, they I wanted a Black Widow movie to be like Wonder Woman, like how Woman was the first one. How the movie was done very well. They made her strong, female empowerment, rah rah, yes. But it also showed how great Wonder Woman was. They really didn't like Natasha was just she was just on. It was her movie, but she wasn't really the star of the movie. I didn't feel like she was a star.
Yeah. Well, what's problematic about that is also you have to remember Wonder Woman has special powers as well, and Black Widow doesn't. She's a spy, very intelligent, as the one gentleman from the Roger Report was saying earlier. She knows how to throw lots of kicks. Judge Zilla. It was Judge Zilla. Yeah. Shout out to Judge Zilla. So she's very good at kicking. She's very good at fighting, beating guys up. But Black Widow doesn't necessarily have superpowers. So, but
But
I
neither
see
does
what you mean.
but neither does Batman. Like Batman doesn't have superpowers either. But
Yeah.
Batman could command. You know, like she doesn't need superpowers. But what I think the movie needed was to have her other one or two other Avengers in the movie just to big her up a little bit because like her character, even she's great as a ensemble. Her movie by herself was not because she's not that great by herself, to be honest. I mean, I don't. People could attack me and say whatever, but as a female, as a character, as a female hero, she's not that compelling by herself. So she needed another person there. They talk about they didn't want no man in the movie, blah blah blah. But if they had Clint in the movie, I felt like it would have been so much better because we know they have a close relationship, and even though they made her die and they had to, they sacrificed. She sacrificed herself for him and for the world and for the
Mm-hmm.
universe or whatever, because not one world, the universe. Um, it would have been so nice to have him in the movie, like just for a little 5 minutes or whatever in the movie, just to show. Even though we know they're close, fans know that they're close, but to make it was just cemented and made the movie better, in my opinion.
Okay. Okay. Wolf 58 says, "Yep, love Critical Drinker. Critical Drinker, if you're watching this, I'd love to join your gang." So he says, according to the Critical Drinker, the movie's filled with plot holes to the point where it takes you out of the movie. Winston Takuhisa has entered the building. Winston, I appreciate your support and the respect you show me all around and over on the Roger Report. So I'm just gonna kind of walk through this briefly.
Hey, Winston. Winston is a nice guy. I like him too.
Okay.
I was taking hate to Winston. He's super nice. Yeah.
Just looking at my notes here. Yeah, so the movie, it starts off, we see a little bit about what her life was like as a young child. She had a sister and her father, who was this gentleman who played the Red Guardian. Her father was the Red Guardian, and her mother was this other woman here, played by Rachel Wise Molina Volsto. I can't see what the rest of that last name is. But they have to leave, and they meet up with Draco in Cuba, and he starts the Black Widows, his own personal female army agents slash infiltrants. Seems like in these movies, the foreign powers always want to create their own infiltrating army, whether it's the Winter Soldiers or in this case the Black Widow. Someone's always trying to create an army that's going to sweep across the globe and then take things over when the time is right. So it's stated throughout the movie that Natasha betrays the Black Widows, and she goes and she joins the Avengers. That's talked about quite a bit throughout the movie. The fact that she becomes an
Why didn't
Avenger.
they show that though? I feel like they should have. I'm sorry, I keep interrupting you.
That's all right. Go ahead.
Why didn't they show her betraying them? Show a scene of her doing that. Like I said, it was so not her story. Her story wasn't really fleshed out properly. You know.
Yeah.
I think they should have shown that.
Well, they did show us the scene where she tries to assassinate Dreykov. They show his daughter going into the building, and I think that was the event that allowed her to. She was working with Hawkeye, and that was the event that allowed her to disappear and go to the States and join Shield and the Avengers. So, but no, they didn't. They could have shown more regarding that. Shout out to my brother Amal. My brother Amal is took some of his precious time to stop through this stream. He says some of the stunts were a little over the top. Black Widow was on par with the 007s, the Bourne movies, and the Mission Impossibles, in my opinion. Yeah, definitely more of a spy theme than a superhero theme. Hey guys, shout out to my brother. My brother created this logo here. This is the Big Discussion 76 Entertainment and Media logo. That's Hawkeye. I'm sorry, that's Falcon over there, and that's Ellen Ripley from the Alien movies. Those are Michigan colors, maize and blue. So yeah, so we see her childhood. We see that she defects from the Black Widows, and then the story takes us to follow her sister, who is a Black Widow, and there's this I'll call it an antidote for the control. Oh, I lost Kareem. Well, Kareem, hit the link again. You can come back. But there's this antidote or this mist that allows the Black Widows to free themselves from Dreykov's control. And then as Black Widow's running from Agent Ross and trying to disappear, she goes back. No, her sister sends her the bundle of the antidote, and she goes back to I think that's this I don't know if it's the Soviet Union or Germany, but she links back up with her sister, and her sister tells her what's going on, and they want to free the Black Widows, and so then they go and they break out their father, who is the Red Guardian. He's getting tatted up everywhere, and apparently. Now, I have to admit, I'm not an expert on Marvel lore. Kareem, you could chime in if you want, but apparently the Red Guardian was Captain America before Captain America, but for Russia.
Yeah, he was super soldier.
Yeah. So there are a couple
for Russia.
Yeah. So
the Russian super soldier.
There were quite a few attempts, it seems, at Captain America at repeating that experiment. But and so he's going on and on about this, and he's beating guys in the arm wrestling match. And it's interesting when they escape and they go to the mother's home, and he puts his suit on. It looks very similar to Captain America's suit.
Yeah.
Except his is red and white. It's got the star right there in the front, but it looks very, very similar. And even his helmet or that mask, it looks very, very similar to Captain America's. So I was thinking that as I was watching the movie. They were going for a lot of humor in this. I'm sure the critical drinker probably said that as well. They're going for a lot of humor. There were a lot of jokes. I thought the joke about her pose was funny.
That part was funny.
Yeah, that was good.
Florence Pugh she's a good actress. I like her in this movie. She was actually the better actor in this movie. Yeah, so I liked her trying to do funny jokes and I guess you could see why she's gonna be the next widow, Black Widow. You know, she's a star.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Winston's always got some very profound things to say. Winston says, I honestly think it had the potential to be a really good movie, but they dropped the ball.
I
He also,
agree.
he also
I
said
agree.
she was the only actual Russian on set. LOL. Dreykov's daughter. Oh yeah, we got to talk about that. Uh, hashtag awesome. Winston says the mist could have been explained better or omitted altogether. And
Mm-hmm.
Ramal says the antidotes were red pills. LOL. So he made a little joke. Then Winston says, but where did it come from? Who made it? Yep.
Right, right. They didn't explain that. Like a lot of things wasn't explained properly. Like I said, the way they like the scene. There's a scene when they're running from the other widows and they're in
Mm-hmm.
the subway hidden in a subway thing shaft or whatever that is. And she
Mm-hmm.
mentioned Clint. Why didn't they just flash back to her and Clint? Da da da. You know, they could have bring him in a way to just made it like I said that they dropped the ball on that. That's why a lot of people felt like this movie was just okay because we it missed the Marvel. You know, it didn't have the Marvel like shine to it. You know, it wasn't like on
Mm-hmm.
brand for a Marvel movie, in my opinion.
Winston says hashtag too much. So in terms of Dreykov's daughter, I yeah. So they introduce a when I first saw it, I'll describe it as it for now. I thought it might have been another iteration of the Winter Soldiers. There was this warrior type being that looked to be like a almost like a robot that Dreykov was that he was using to go to try to retrieve the vials. And it very much it imitated whatever it was fighting, and I thought it was going to be another Winter Soldier type thing. And later on in the movie, we find out that is actually Dreykov's daughter. So Natasha thought that she killed Dreykov's daughter, but it turns out she didn't, and he turned his daughter into this super soldier android type thing, which
Right.
was which was surprising. I mean, it was kind of cool, but it was surprising. But I
Yeah.
thought
You
uh,
were surprised, really? Because I think the rumor was out that they was gonna turn Taskmaster into a woman. That was like a big rumor. So you were
okay,
really surprised?
so that thing's official name was Taskmaster. Okay, so okay, so that was Taskmaster. So Kareem, so is Taskmaster in the comic books, was Taskmaster a guy?
Yeah.
Okay, so that leads me to my next point, which is when they showed that, I understand that this is the protagonist in this movie was a female, but I got the sense that we're going more towards just like at the end of Avengers Endgame where you had the female scene. Let me see if I have the picture here. Because you got to show the picture of the female scene if you're gonna talk about it. We'll make sure the she has protection. Let's see.
And my point with Taskmaster too, like the fight scenes were not that over. The fight scenes weren't that awesome either. Like, yeah, you know, we could tell Taskmaster is formidable, and but like, I don't know. I wasn't happy with the fight scenes. I wanted more like. I know they said that a man was the stunt director, but
Mhm.
um, I don't know. I didn't like the stunts in this movie.
What about the stunts? Were they just underwhelming or
Mediocre, mediocre. I mean, I felt I wanted more like I like the scene, which this particular scene I like. Sorry about that.
That's all right. Here it is. Now, speaking of which, someone over on the Roger Report said that was it this movie where the stunts were done by men?
Yeah, they said that her stunt doubles were male, and they just CGI. But the scene, okay, the one thing I did like out of all the fighting and everything was
Mm-hmm.
when she hit her nose on the desk. I mean, I know I'm going a little bit too forward in the review, but when
No,
she
that's
hit
okay.
her nose on the desk, that was the only like kind of realistic thing to me. Everything else was just so crazy. She's been beaten up. She could mysteriously did all of that, take the vial of the spray, the red spray to free the mind control,
Yeah.
and it was just. I think they could have did better with the core the fight scenes.
Okay. Yeah. So you're talking about when she wanted to sever the nerve so she could actually attack Dreykov and kill him. Um, but here's the all female scene from Avengers Endgame. I thought that when I saw who the Taskmaster actually was, I got this feeling. I got the feeling that we're going, and it's rumored that the MCU is really going towards more of a woke, gender equal thing. And that's the feeling that I got when I saw that scene. Like, okay, the bad guy, this is a really, really bad, this is a really, really tough bad guy. And it turns out that it's his daughter. So I'm going to fast forward. Um, the mother actually turned out to be
Uh,
good. Go ahead.
he and the mother too, making her good. Okay, basically, this mother is basically involved in architect. She's the architect of a system that basically traffic young girls, mind put them on mind control, forced them to kill people, and they made her the. She was like the nice person in the movie. She should have been the villain. They should have really made her more evil. I'm sorry, that it makes no sense. You're gonna make this lady who is well, okay, she was forced to do it, whatever, but she was in mind control. She knew what she was doing. She willingly did it, and no one and everybody was like, oh, okay, yeah, Melina is, forgive her, but Dreykov is so horrible. Basically, she did the same thing Dreykov did. She was the architect of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't get that part. That part is not realistic. They should have made her more evil.
Yeah. So at some point we start hearing about the quote unquote the Red Room, and as you can see from the pictures and the posters associated with the movie, it's red plays a major role. So the Red Room, I think that's Draco's organization, and then he actually has a floating fortress up in the sky, and the mother presumably helps them capture Natasha, her sister, and the Red Guardian. They go up to his fortress, and then he lays out his entire master plan. I've got Black Widows all over the world. They're ready to move on my command, and we've infiltrated every single country, and they're ready to move on my command. They can't attack me. They're loyal to me. They're elite. I've been grooming them since they were girls. I've been specially handpicking them, and that's my evil plan, basically. And you, Natasha, can't hurt me either because I've programmed you so that you can't hurt me or attack me, which kind of reminded me of the first RoboCop movie. And so, long story short, she Karine talked about her breaking her nose. She figures out that she can sever the nerve in her brain. She can actually go ahead and inflict harm on this guy and attack him, and she does. And the other Black Widows, they come into that room to try to stop her and take her down, and they figure out how to spray the mist in the room to what's the word I'm looking for, to free up all those Black Widows. And that's
Yeah,
what
to freedom.
happens.
Yeah, to freedom from their mind control, because they can't be evil. They can't just be assassins. They have to be under mind control, which makes no sense to me because they all could still just be evil. So what? They were mind control. You're killing people. You've been killing people all your life. You're programmed to kill people, but you're gonna all of a sudden miraculously be good. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
That like the plot in this movie is just not bad. The plot was bad.
Yeah, and so they end up, blowing up Draco's fortress, and there's the scene where Black Widow, she's falling and rescuing her
Right.
sister, and it reminded me very much of uh um the first Avengers movie when the helipad was they had to fight on the helipad, and then also uh Avengers Age of Ultron when the meteor explodes, they're all falling, and
Right.
this person's doing this person's doing that. So there was a lot of stuff that was reminiscent of the earlier movies. Dreykov dies. Um and then
And I
at the
wanted
end
his
out,
death to be more like consequential. Like I wanted his death to be more gruesome. I felt like his death was just blah too. Like everything in this movie to me was just like, okay, blah. Like very not I don't have there was no amazing moments in this movie. Like every movie has like a scene that you're like, wow. There was no wow factor in this movie for me.
mm-hmm,
I mean, I
mm-hmm.
don't know if you think differently, but it was that's what I said is missing that Marvel spark of like something a scene that's amazing and you're like, whoa, I love that scene. I love that scene. Not in this movie at all. Nothing but just mediocre. It's like they mixed a bunch of genres together to make this movie.
Yeah, a lot of it definitely felt like filler, and I was
Hmm.
sitting there watching it and thinking, okay, when are we going to get to the climax? When are we going to get to? Because when you get to the climax, when you're at the final battle, and that moment of truth, and like that whole plot rise to the climax, it just felt like it just kind of dragged along. There was a lot of backstory, a lot of talk about their childhood, and we thought we had a real family, and it just, yeah, you're right. It really did just kind of, for me, it dragged along. So I was happy when the final stage got there. Kareem, you're gonna laugh at this. I'm gonna read this. Wolf 58 says, "Wow, sounds like Kareem really didn't like this movie, huh?"
I mean, I didn't hate it. I just thought I wanted something better for her. You know what I mean? Like I said, I wanted the movie to be like how Wonder Woman was. I just wanted a better movie, and I thought this movie was just like blah. It was just, it was okay. I mean, it's okay. It's Marvel. I'm a fan. I'll watch it. But it's not like, you know, one of the reasons why people love Infinity Wars. Okay, Infinity War. They killed Spider-Man off. Everybody was talking. There was like a wow moment in this movie. Do you find that there was a wow moment? Like
No.
that's the point. The point is it's not a Marvel brand. It's not a Marvel brand movie. I think on with the Roger Report we were talking about. Someone brought up Ant-Man. Ant-Man was like gimmicky, but it was so funny. It was so funny. And my I have a daughter. She doesn't like these Marvel things. She's a 10-year-old. She loved Ant-Man because Ant-Man was so funny. And even though she's not a superhero fan, she could love the movie because the movie was done well and was done for, it was that had that Marvel spark. This movie, I'm not even gonna make her watch it because she don't even want to watch it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they're pushing it to the young girls. They're like, oh, female empowerment, blah blah blah. My daughter's not watching this.
Okay. Karina, I'm gonna let you take this one because honestly, I heard so many bad things about Wonder Woman 1984. I didn't even watch it.
Oh,
So Winston says, "How do y'all feel this compares to Wonder Woman 1984?"
I think it was kind of like the same because Wonder Woman was great. Wonder Woman 1984 was just blah too. It was just dumb. The plot was stupid. It was
Yeah.
so it's like Wonder Woman 1984 instead of Wonder Woman the first one, and it's the same director, so I don't even know what she was doing. I was very disappointed in Pat Jenkins. Like the first Wonder Woman was great, and I thought she would have followed. I mean, usually they said the sequel is not that good, but it's a superhero movie, so usually sequels are pretty okay. Wonder Woman 84 was terrible. It was like I was like, what is this? What is this?
Yeah. Amal says movies like Black Widow should be handled by producers like Tom Cruise or Vin Diesel. Interesting. They know how to handle that level of action in fights or chase scenes.
I agree with your brother. I agree with your brother. Like they needed Tom Cruise people to come in here and do like the Tomorrow War. I think that's the people that did Tomorrow War, Tom
Mm-hmm.
Cruise company. They should have hired those producers to come in and do Black Widow. I think it would have been nice because she is a spy. So yes, we're gonna expect a superhero movie, but she's a spy. And then, like I said, bring Clint in it too because Clint is a spy as well. And I think they would have. It was he would have helped enhance the movie. They need to stop. I understand they were doing this. Oh, women could stand by themselves. Blah blah blah. But her and Clint's stories is kind of intertwined, so that would give the fans a good movie, and that would made this movie better. Like that's to me, that's one of the things that was missing. They needed to make up the fight scenes, and they needed to like include another Avengers in the movie just to prop her up a little bit and make her the star. Because like I said, she wasn't the star of the movie. Yelena was. Florence Pugh, she was the star of the movie.
Okay. Yeah, and come to think of it, for the other origin stories, there were other Avengers in those movies. I think to some degree, maybe aside from Iron Man 1. Yeah, a lot of times you had elements of the other characters of the other movies in them, more so than this one. Winston says, I think they could have taken some elements from Falcon and the Winter Soldier to have more compelling female characters. Let's see. He says if they were doing what they were supposed to do, this movie would have been a love letter to Black Widow fans.
I so agree.
Let's unpack that for a
Really?
minute. What does that
Oh
mean? A
my
love letter?
God! You like 1984 better than Wonder Woman? Oh no! No! We're gonna fight. 1984 was so dry. It was like, I mean, I guess they had the 80s. It really, you did feel like it was in the 80s, but the plot was stupid. The villains were like the cheetah girl and and what was the other villain? I don't even remember the other villain.
Oh, that was no, I didn't see it, but that was Maxwell Lord, right?
Yes, but the actor is good. What's his name?
Pedro
I forget.
Pascal.
Yes, he's a great actor. But I was like, come on, yo, this this is just trash. It's trash, man. My West Indian had to come out. I was like, what is this trash? I was like, come on, how you go? I'm a Wonder Woman fan. I own the DVDs. I watch all the Wonder Woman iterations, every Wonder Woman uh TV show thing that came out. So I was like, nah, y'all could have really did better than this. I mean, I don't know. I can't believe he said he liked Wonder Woman 84 better than Wonder Woman. Nah. Did you
Okay,
see Wonder Woman?
I didn't see the 1984 because I heard so many bad things about it.
I
So
think
I
you
said,
should
I'm not.
watch it just so you can have better opinion. But did you see
Yeah,
the Wonder Woman, the one that came out in 2017?
I saw the original. Yeah, the first one.
Yeah. And did you like it?
I liked it. I thought it was in terms of the bad guy, it was suspenseful because they did a good job hiding who the bad guy was until the end.
Yes.
That's what I
Yes.
appreciated about it.
And they made both people villains. They had a female villain in there too, but it was just done. It was done well. It was just the history and the way they. I felt that they did a good job, and I love. I mean, I love that era anyway. I love when they portray the First World War because you hardly see that in film now. You see mostly World War II,
Mm-hmm.
Vietnam. Most movies they really don't show the First World War, which was I can think worse than the Second World War in terms of people dying. I think I'm not. My history is failing me right now, but I love when I see those type of words on in movies. I generally like those type of movies better than the ones with like the Second World War in Vietnam.
Okay. All right. Well, we're at 51 minutes, and I want to go and pump some weights like Officer Charles Faulkner in a little bit. Before we talk about the ending and the Easter egg, let's go back to this love letter thing. What does that mean? They could have used this as a love letter to Black Widow fans.
Because we know she died, and she's not gonna be the next. I don't think she's gonna be. Maybe she may show up like small appearances in the future MCU projects, but this is it for her. Her contract is done, I think. So that's why people were like, this would have, this is her swan song, and it would have been a, a beautiful way for her to go out, but it was just blah.
Okay. Winston says, my bias towards the first one was the man bashing, but I will rewatch. And then my brother says, I didn't see Wonder Woman 1984 because the villains help define the hero. The villains looked boring in the trailers. The interesting thing about that
very boring.
is, well, the interesting thing about that is if you go back to Karina, I don't know if you're young enough to remember Challenge of the Justice League. Where they actually had a cartoon with the Justice League and the Legion of Doom. So they featured all of their arch enemies. And so there was a Cheetah character. And so when I saw the 1984 trailer, I said, oh, cool. They've given her arch villain, but it sounds like that it wasn't done correctly.
And someone said about man bashing. No, trust me. Chris Pine in this movie was amazing. They wasn't bashing anything. Chris Pine wasn't put down. They didn't put Chris Pine down in Wonder Woman. He was human, but he was a soldier, and he shined in Wonder Woman, in my opinion. That's why I think they had to bring him back, because people loved him. They didn't want him to die. I mean, he died, but people. That's why they brought him back, because people loved him in the movie.
Yeah. And so in terms of the ending of this Black Widow movie, she's got the blonde hair, and she's wearing the uniform that we see her in Infinity War. So the ending of the movie is her going to join up with Cap, I think, to break the guys out of that fortress that they're in out in the water. And so I think we're kind of left to speculate, because at the end of Civil War, we see Captain America walk up, in the jail. So he infiltrates the jail, that prison somehow. And so I think you kind of assume that maybe she's in the Quinjet and they both go and break those guys out of there. And then we see her again in Infinity War when Corvus Glaive and the other member of Thanos' group, when they're trying to get the Mind Stone from Vision. So that's the ending of the movie. So that's what was strange about all this, was that why not put this movie out immediately after Civil War? If you're going to do this and you're not going to bring her back and you're not going to add anything new. And they were talking about this on the Roger Report earlier. Why put this out now after everything is done and you're not going to bring her back?
Okay, because honestly, I feel like they knew she really couldn't carry the movie, really. But because we're in this woke feminist thing now, they saw that Wonder Woman did very well. Because remember, prior to this, they really didn't have like Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman did so well that then they did Captain Marvel. Then all these other female superheroes started to come out. I mean, they have other female superheroes before, but what I'm saying, Wonder Woman did very well in the box office, because they should have put this movie out right after Civil War. It would have made more sense, and I think most critics wouldn't be so critical. Even if they did all of this weak plot line and all of that, we probably still would have just loved it, and it would have done very well, because, like I said, she has a fan base. She's integral part of the the Avengers. People love her. I mean, prior to her talking all this thing about sexualization and whatever, like, girl, please. Like I said, you got by your good looks. I mean, you're a good actress. She's a good actress, but it's the way you look. Because if you look like freaking what's this girl name? Jake Gyllenhaal's sister. You wouldn't be leading. You wouldn't be in the Marvel movie. Okay,
Okay.
you would play the villain. You wouldn't be playing Black Widow. So let's just keep it real about your looks. They hire you because of your looks. Sorry. Let's.
So Kareem, before we talk about the Easter egg, can you just because I don't know what she said. I heard them talking about it earlier on the Roger Report. She said something woke about being cast.
Well, some people saying is that the journalist is trying to set her up, but basically what she said, she felt in Iron Man 2, Natasha was too sexualized, but she was playing a honeypot. You were playing a spy to trap somebody. That's your job. So you have to be sexualized. That's your role. You're a spy. You're espionage. That's a part of espionage. Come on. You know what I mean? Like, it's stupid. Like, I don't know. I didn't hear all the comments. I read what the person said, but you know what? Sometimes these journalists try to set people up too. So maybe they was just trying to set her up. Let me just give her the benefit of the doubt because I've been so critical of her. Let me just calm down my criticism. Okay, but I think the writers, because they have these writers that review certain things and they don't know characters, and so they put their own feelings into certain things. Hold on one second.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm sorry about that.
That's okay. That's okay. Well, with the few minutes we have left, let's talk about the Easter egg. So the Easter egg, again, this is a spoiler, if any, in case none of you have seen it. But again, this is not like it's a summer blockbuster, so I don't think it's going to matter much. But the spoiler.
They're calling it a summer blockbuster.
Say what?
They're calling it a summer blockbuster.
Oh,
They're
they are.
saying because
Oh,
they're saying because of this movie, the model that Disney has having with the Disney Plus and the in theaters that by release thing that they're doing is a success. It made over 200 million. Blah blah blah. Nah,
yeah, that's a stretch.
that's a stretch.
So the spoiler actually coincidentally includes or it involves Clint Barton, Hawkeye. So her sister
Mm-hmm.
is hanging out somewhere. No, her sister goes to the grave. She's not just hanging out
Right.
somewhere. And even
She goes to
watching the Easter egg, I'm thinking, okay, her sister does the whistle, and I'm thinking, okay, maybe her spirit's going to come back through the soul stone and whisper to her, say, "I'm still alive. Give us something." But that didn't happen. Instead, of all people, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Elaine Bennis from Seinfeld,
Mm-hmm.
is there at the grave site as well. She comes over and she hands her a file or something or a little piece of technology and says, "This is the guy who. Do you want to know who's responsible for your sister's death?" And the picture actually turns out to be Hawkeye.
Right. So
And which is strange because number one, how do they know that? How do they know that unless the Avengers gave some sort of account to somebody about what happened in the course of collecting the Infinity Stones? But why would you say that he's responsible for her death? Because he was trying to give
she's
his
a
life.
manipulator.
Yeah.
She's a manipulator. That's her thing.
So do you
And
know who her character is?
her character was okay. I wasn't familiar with her character, but I did watch Falcon and Winter Soldier. Did you see the series? She's also
Uh,
so in this movie. She was so supposed to set her up for that show, but because this came out after Falcon and the Winter Soldier, she was already introduced there. She's Lady Hydra. She plays. She's supposed to be the leader of the is an Easter egg, the new Avenger team that's supposed to be in the next phase. So she's setting up a team as well. So This movie was supposed to be released before Falcon and the Winter Soldier, so
Okay, you
that's
got more.
why. Yeah. So, I heard a lot of people talk about this character. She's supposed to be evil. But you know how they do. They don't make them really evil. They just make them like complicated. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Which I kind of hate too because I want to hate somebody. I don't like the oh they're kind yeah. I want a truly evil character like Thanos. Like we like Thanos because Thanos was evil. We love that. We love and he was strong and he was thing. But that's why people like him. He wasn't oh um what you call it how they make these villains. You try to understand them. They have a kind side and they're redeemable. I don't listen. There's heroes, anti-heroes, but make the villains villains. Come on,
Hmm.
Marvel, please. I hope they do that in this iteration because I can't take all of this woke try to understand these villains. I don't want to understand them. I think you're evil. Kill them or do whatever you need to do and annihilate them in the movie. Stop doing this woke thing. It don't make the movie fun. You know.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna end with my little rant here about that, and gonna invoke the critical drinker one more time. I'm going to show the logo my brother created because Ellen Ripley is on it. And it's been discussed that there's absolutely nothing wrong with having female leads and a female protagonist, just as long as you've built a quality story and a compelling story around that character. The whole story should not be the fact that, oh, she's a female character. That doesn't work for us as a fan base, and so I think the emphasis should go back to compelling writing and compelling storytelling, and I think if they do that and they want to make diverse casts and they want to have female protagonists, that's fine, but make it worth our while. Just don't shove narratives and um, your cultural views down our throats because we want to be entertained at the end of the day.
I agree. The artisan MC, I think that's his name is. He was saying that they need to use the source material though. The thing about these writers is they're hiring writers that don't really know anything about the products. You got to do research. Is everybody could buy a comic. You could Google stuff online. They're lazy and they're doing sloppy writing and they just want to invoke these different narratives instead of telling a compelling story. Tell a compelling story. People will go and watch it. We all are living in this world. We know women could do things. We know that. We live in 2021. Stop trying to say, women hear me roar. Just tell a good story. Okay, and stop with this. I personally don't like the race swapping and the gender swapping and whatever. Write good male and good female characters. If you want to include the different LGBT or whatever, write them good characters and tell a good story so people can watch it. Stop um invoking in characters that people love and already have they already know how the characters are and they just want to see them portray in a good and proper way because this is people's childhoods. This is how we grew up watching these things. You can't come and ruin it for people. I don't care if they say, oh well, they're trying to introduce new audience. Okay, yes, but you already have a built-in audience. This is why you're doing these movies, so because you want the money. You have a built-in audience, so you have to respect the audience you're doing. Stop with this craziness. And I get frustrated when I see certain shows. I don't even watch. I'm not even gonna watch He-Man. I don't care what people. I'm not because I already know it's gonna be garbage. I don't even watch Shira. I watched one episode and I was like, "What the hell is this?" on Netflix. I had to. I don't watch it anymore. They need to hire people. Honestly, I need to do a petition or something. I know people's gonna like. I need to do a petition. Hire good writers. Okay, that's my rant.
Yeah, I mean, and ultimately, we're going to be entertained, and sometimes we want to, you go into the movie theater, you want to escape for a few hours from the outside world. And that's part of what the movies are for. And going back to what you said about the source material, I think Joss Whedon and the production team who created the first movie, I think they made it a point to stay close to the source material. And I think Zack Snyder, one of his strengths was that he was very knowledgeable on the source material for the Justice League. So I hope that, with YouTube and social media, I hope that Disney and Warner Brothers, I hope they're listening to us.
Because let's be real, we're the ones that's making these. I mean, yeah, people bring their kids and stuff and all of that, and they have new audience. Let's keep it real. But the fan, they have a built-in audience. They're doing this to make money. And when you already have a built-in audience, you have to respect them. I mean, I'm sorry if it's a new comic, and you're doing something new that already had like all these agendas in them, and you just putting it on the screen, then that's one issue. But when you're interjecting these things into something that's already been in people's minds for 20 years, 30 years, like this thing with He-Man, oh my God, I was so disappointed. When I saw I'm sorry to get off topic, but when I saw the first trailers, I was like, whoa, this looks good. The animation. Yeah, I'm excited. But then when they started to change Tila and make her all mannish looking crazy, I was like, what they doing? They're ruining people's childhood. I'm sorry. I was just so upset. I'm not even gonna watch. I want to get rid of my Netflix because of this.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, Kareen, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. This was fun. We have to do this again. Yeah, this was fun.
Yeah, it was okay. I mean, if you love Black Widow, go see the movie. It's okay. It's not horrible. Scarlett Johansson is a good actress. Who else I liked? Like I said, Florence Pugh. She definitely is a star. I think she's gonna make a good new addition to the Marvel family. And that's it. Thanks.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Kareen.
Okay, bye.
All right. All right, everyone. Well, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you to everyone who came through and hung out in the chat. Wolf 58, Winston, my brother Amal. Thank you for those of you who hung out in the chat and commented. I wasn't going to do this one today, but I decided to go ahead and just kind of alpha my way through it. If you're watching on the playback, definitely please like this stream / video, and also please subscribe to the channel. I hope that Disney, I hope you're out there listening to everyone out here. It's the same thing with Warner Brothers. Stay true to the source material and don't shove narratives down our throat just for the sake of shoving narratives down our throat. It was entertaining. It wasn't the best movie. Black Widow probably should have been produced a couple of years ago for the sake of continuity and for the sake of relevance. So if you're watching on the playback and you saw this and you have comments on it yourself, please definitely comment and engage with the video. And please like, share, and subscribe. I'll talk to you the next time. And as always, remember that your attitude determines your altitude. Take care, and I'll talk to you the next time. Bye-bye.